friends, welcome to the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I'm your host Bobby and I am coming to you from Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Today is Saturday, March the 18th, 2023, and this is episode 83. Welcome to my podcast. This is a podcast mostly about my knitting adventures and spinning and crochet. Another week goes by with no spinning, unfortunately, but I do have a crochet project. It's a work in progress, but I do have something crocheted. So yeah, anything fiber related, I love. So yeah, that's what this podcast is about. Show notes are always in the description box below. I always put detailed show notes to the linking you directly to the designers. And yeah, you can also find all the social links where you can find me on the internet. I am as Country Girl 1986X over on Ravelry and as Inspired Knitting Podcast over on Instagram, where I am most active. So yeah, it has been a little bit, guys. It's been 3 weeks since I last talked to you, and yeah, it's been good. It's been busy the last week or so, but I was sick after the last podcast. I come down with a flu, and yeah, that was not fun. So that took me out for almost a week and a half, and yeah, things just spiraled from there. I wanted to podcast last week, but things got too busy, and I've been having a lot of pain in my wrist as well. I'm not exactly sure what's causing it. I do have a lot of joint pain in my hands, but my wrist has been bothering me a lot, and I'm not sure why, because I haven't changed up my knitting. I have been doing the same thing, but I guess that's just the problem with getting older. I don't know, but that set me back a little bit, so I haven't been crafting as much as I normally would or would like to. But regardless, I do have some stuff to share with you today. So I do have a couple of finished objects. I have some works in progress, and yeah, that's about all. So first, I'm going to start off with what I'm wearing. So I am wearing, and I've been wearing this shawl a lot this past winter. This is my Hit the Bricks shawl by Chic and Regal Knits. I absolutely love her. She's a fantastic designer, and her patterns are always wonderful to knit up and follow. So this one here is kind of like a crescent shape shawl. I knit this a while ago in Estelle yarns. I think it was the alpaca base. So yeah, the information is over on my Ravelry page. It's just like a pretty forest green. Absolutely love it. It's so squishy and wonderful. It's just got these pretty eyelet sections. And yeah, so that's what I'm wearing today. And over here we have a new member to the family. This is Gertie. So Gertie is also wearing another Chic and Regal knit as well. This is the Bright-Eyed Becky. So this is a I think this one was a worsted shawl. This one is a fingering weight. I used the Northern Pearl for the main color. This is a one skein shawl, and then you can, it's optional, but you can use a contrast for the little border here. So I did that as well, and that's in the Northern Pearl as well. That was, I'm gonna say that was a 20-gram mini skein. But yeah, it's really, really pretty. It's got the eyelets as well. I love Helen's patterns, Chic and Regal Knits. You got to go over and check her out on Instagram. She has very wonderful shawl patterns. I like them because they're always changing up. They're simple, but they're always changing up, so you're not doing the same thing over and over again. So I really enjoy that about her patterns, and both of these shawls were very, very fun to knit up. So go check her out. So yeah, Gertie, she's going to be showing up every once in a while to help showcase some of the knits that I've done. So yeah, I saw her show up and I just had to get her. So that was a new acquisition of sorts. Okay, so we're gonna start off with finished objects. So I'm just gonna get a drink of my coffee first, and then we will get into it. I just got my coffee today, Timmy's cup. Gotta have my Timmy's. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to share with you guys is a pair of socks. And I believe I had shared a work in progress of these before. It's been a while, so I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure I did. So these are the Spring Flowers socks by Dana Ray Makes. So these are fingering weight, and it's got this really cool garter type rib design on it, like a texture. Really, really pretty. I did a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, just because that's my go-to heel. I find that it fits me the best. And yes, there is 2 of them. So I did finish those off. These were a lot of fun to knit up. I really love the colorway. This is the Northern Pearl, and I had got this last spring, and I decided to knit it up because I wanted some bright fun colors. And the mini skein, I want to say is the Northern Pearl as well, but it might be Polka Dot Creek. I put them in my basket, all my mini skeins in a basket, so some of them don't have tags, so I'm not 100% sure, so I don't know, but I just thought the purple complemented the main color very well. So I just did the cuff and the heel with the contrast and just decided to leave the toe plain, and I really like that. So I have a lot of this yarn left over, so I'm not sure what it will be yet. I might do another pair of shorty socks with it, or it just might save it for my blankets. I really don't know yet, but I'm just obsessed with this colorway. It's so pretty. So yeah, I've had a couple people try to claim these. It's not happening. I like these too much, so they're mine. So Spring Flowers socks by Dana Ray Makes. Dana is a fabulous sock designer. I love her. So there's those. So I'll just set these back down. The next thing that I have is a hat, and I had received a message on Ravelry from Anna, and I hope I'm not going to butcher your last name, Gotes. She has the Knitting in Mauritius podcast, and she's also knitting _in_Mauritius on Instagram. Go check her out. Anna is a designer. She has a couple shawl patterns and cardigans, and I believe she also has a poncho as well. She has very pretty designs. I love them. Well, I had never heard of Anna before, but she had sent me a wonderful little message over on Ravelry. She watches the podcast, so hi Anna. And she gifted me her Rainbow Stairs hat, which is one of her latest designs. So automatically I had to go into my stash and I had to pick out some yarns for this gorgeous hat. So here's the hat. Now I haven't blocked it yet, but you can kind of see it's got these blocks of color. So it uses DK weight yarn in 2 colors. So this one is my main color. This is Malabrigo Rios. So here's my modification. The pattern is written in DK. Rios is a worsted. So what I did was I went down a needle size because my gauge tends to be looser anyways. And I did have to modify the repeats in the hat to make it slightly shorter because my rows were longer. So my inches going this way were a lot more. So I did modify this hat a little bit because I wanted to use the Malabrigo. The contrast color is Malabrigo can't remember what their DK base is, but it's the DK base in the silky merinos. So it's a merino silk base. So the main color is Pearl 10, which is a really beautiful purple. And then the contrast color is Azules. So I really, really enjoyed knitting this hat. It was so fun. It uses the mosaic knitting technique. So it is not stranded color work. You're only ever working with one color at once. And I absolutely love that. So a lot of fun to knit up. Anna has used, I think she may have used Spin Cycle as her contrast, which I think is absolutely gorgeous because it transitions in color. So if you wanted to do that, because Spin Cycle could be a little bit more expensive, I think Anna had listed like some other options as well. I want to say that the Zobber balls are another one that you could, maybe that's not what they're called. I know that there is another brand that kind of does that hand spun effect. If you spin yarn, you could use that as a contrast as well. I'm just trying to think of some more budget friendly. There is Cascade Wave, but that tends to be a worsted or a fingering, I believe. There are options out there, but, and you don't need to do that. I didn't do that. I just used the Malabrigo, and the Silky Merinos does kind of do a color transition of sorts, which I think is perfect. You don't have to do that. You can do anything you wish, but it's just gorgeous. So I did already post this hat over on my Instagram page. I had a beautiful model. Hi, Kaylee. So she modeled the hat for me, and she tried to stife it for me too. So I think I might have lost this hat. I don't know yet. I don't know, but I really, really love it. I'll put it on really quick. It's a beautiful hat. You could put a pom-pom, and if I was to keep the hat for myself, I would probably match it with a purple pom-pom. I'm not sure, but it's just very beautiful. I find that it is super squishy and super warm, which I absolutely love. I did wear it out already, and I do find it rather warm, so I really like it. So if I do give this one away, I will definitely be knitting another one for myself, because the fit of it and everything about it is just perfect. Everything that I would want in a hat. So it's the Rainbow Stairs hat by Anna Gutez, knitting in Mauritius. So I will post all of that below so that you can go check her out. So again, thank you so much, Anna. Your message just brightened my whole day, and I loved it, and I love knitting your patterns, so thank you. Mwah. Love you. So that is my second finished object, and I'm going to keep it on because it's rather nice. So that's what I have for finished objects. I do have a hoe, so bear with me for a moment. I was on Instagram and I saw that there was a new sock pattern by This Handmade Life, and I found it rather intriguing because the heel, it's a ribbed sock pattern, but the ribbing transitioned down into the heel, and I thought that was interesting, and I really wanted to give it a try. So I'm just gonna put the first one on the sock blocker here so you can see it. So this pattern is called the Simply Ribbed Socks by This Handmade Life. So let me just, there we go. It is a fingering weight sock. So as you can see, it's just a ribbed sock, but it has this really cool heel. And I really thought that was interesting. It was something new and different. And I just want to see how it fits my foot, because I normally do a heel flap and gusset because that fits my foot best. I have done afterthought heels, and I just don't find they fit me well. So this is technically a short row heel, but it seems to fit rather well. So time will tell, I suppose. But I really enjoyed knitting it, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I was on, it does use the, it's kind of like a German short row of sorts. So it does make the, I think it's called the make right stitch. Is that correct? I haven't done this very often. I've only done this once before. I looked at the pattern and I made it more confusing in my brain than it actually was. But once you look over the heel and get that first couple rows in there, you don't even have to look at the pattern anymore. You can just keep going with it. It's really, really simple. And once you're done with the heel, you just go right into the foot and it's done. It is cuffed down. So I rather enjoyed it. This is the first one. I have yet to cast the second one on. You do have the option where you could do a different rib up here to transition down into the to the 2x2, just to give you a slightly different look. I didn't do that. I just decided to keep it like this. Yesterday when I was on Instagram, there is another Simply Rib sock that this Handmade Life come out with, and it's got a squared heel, so it's the same concept. The ribbing comes right down into the heel, except it's a squared heel. And as I was looking through her patterns, she actually has a couple of these sock patterns, and one that really caught my interest that I think I would like to do next is her homebody socks. Same concept. The ribbing comes down into the heel, except those ones are decay, but the heel looks like it was constructed slightly different than this. So go over and check her out on Instagram, and I will link her below. I find that her socks are very interesting, and I really want to try out these new heels just to see if there's something different out there that might fit my foot. So yeah, I did that. So I'm just going to share the yarn quickly with you. I stash busted again, so I'm using Sandnes Garn. This is their Sissu. I am bad with names. That one. And this is a fingering weight. It is, let me see here, 80% wool, 20% nylon, and the colorway, it doesn't have a name, it just says 3544. So I know, I'm pretty sure if you were to go online, I think I got this from the Knitting Loft. I'm pretty sure this colorway is called Terracotta, but yeah, the color number is 3544. So it's a very nice yarn, very pretty. I like it. So I have 2 balls of these. These are only 50-gram balls, so I need 2 of them to make a pair of socks, which that's okay. I like the leftovers. I don't mind. So Simply Rib socks by this Handmade Life. Go check them out. I had a lot of fun doing this heel. It was fun. So yeah, that's my haul. Okay, so I'm going to now transition over into works in progress. Okay, so there's been a lot of works in progress. I kind of went on a slight cast on party of sorts. Being sick in that, I was just wanting to cast on all the things. Don't ask me why, but I was just in one of those moods. So yeah, I guess I'll start with what am I gonna start with? Okay, I'm gonna start with something that you guys have already seen, just to keep in line with my show notes here. So I have already shown this on the previous podcast, and I forgot again to bring the tag for this yarn, but that's okay. This is my Little Leftovers Cowl. This is a pattern by Stephanie Litovin. So I have gotten quite a bit done on it. I think the last time I shared, I was probably to here. So now I've gotten a lot further. I think I have maybe 6 sections, little sections left, and then it is finished. So I am like super excited about that. So this cowl is kind of like, it starts off like a shawl, and then once you get to a certain point here, you start working in the round. And it's a really fun little project. It's just taking me longer to work on, but that's okay. One of the things I really enjoy about this cowl, and I don't know if it'll show up properly, but it is just full of texture. So I believe that the pattern was written as an Advent pattern. So all the little sections would be for your little leftovers from your Advents. So each section you would be changing colors. So it only uses like a tiny bit of yarn per section. And I believe that it was written for, I think there's 24 sections in total in this cowl. So you could like do it all in one solid color like I'm doing, or you could use your leftovers. And yeah, it's a very pretty cowl. I think I shared a picture with you guys last time. But for me, I am using a skein of Lily and Pine, right? Yes, Lily and Pine yarn. Like I said, I don't have the tag here right now, but I picked this up at my local yarn shop, the Pearl and J. It's my first time trying her yarn, and I just love her bright, vibrant colors. I'm not really a bright person, as you can tell. I like my moody colors, my dark colors, but every once in a while, I like to have something bright to work on, just because it, yeah, makes me happy. So when I saw this, I had to grab it, and I decided that I was going to use it to knit this sweet little cowl with. So my skein, I believe, is something like 430 some yards, I believe, and this cowl uses maybe 460 yards. So I don't think that I'm gonna have enough to finish the whole cowl with one skein. I might cut out a section of it just to use one color, but if I do for some reason run out, I might actually use a contrast color for the border. So I just picked out a couple different random minis here that could possibly be potentials. I think I took it out, but I have a really pretty peach color that I think I would like to use. So yeah, I might do that. We don't know yet, but I'm just working on this every once in a while. It's a lot of fun. I have my Progress Keeper here from Arkansas Yarn Co. It's a little lemon. I'm dreaming of spring and summer, y'all. I can't wait. So yeah, I want to put some work on this week to get it done. I've rather been enjoying cowls lately. I would like to have more cowls to wear. I do love my shawls, but as the weather starts to warm up a little bit, which we've had a mild snap here of sorts, so it would be nice just to have a small cowl to put on and not have to worry about a big shawl. So little leftovers, Stephanie Latoven, I believe. I will post it below here. So there's that one. And the next one I'm going to share with you guys. Yeah, I'll keep on with the knitting here. The next one is a new cast on. So my local yarn store, the Pearl and J, is hosting another knit along, and this time last month was the Love Note by Tin Can Knits, which I took part in, and I absolutely enjoyed it and loved it. So I wasn't going to take part in this one because I have 2 sweaters on the go that I absolutely am enjoying and I want to work on, and I don't need another shawl. But yeah, I started to see everybody putting in their colors that they were going to do, and I started seeing their works in progress, and I decided that why not? So I am. So the official cast on date was March 6th, and you finish May 2nd or May the 3rd, and then you get to show up at the yarn shop with your shawl. You don't have to finish it, it could still be a work in progress. And it was just so much fun last time with the love notes. So yeah, I'm trying to get out there more. I really love my knitting community, and I'm just trying to stop being such an introvert. So I think this is a great way. I think local knitting groups are an awesome way to get out there. They're my peoples, so yeah. All right, so the Pressed Flower Shawl is a pattern by Amy Christoffers, and it again uses the mosaic knitting technique. So at first it looks like it might be a stranded colorwork shawl. It is not. It is mosaic, so you're only ever working with one color. So Pressed Flower Shawl uses DK weight yarn, and I believe your main color is 2 skeins, and then your contrast is 1 skein. So for me, I am using Cascade 220. This is some leftovers that I have, but I have enough for the shawl, so I decided to use it. This is in the straw colorway. Very beautiful. And then this is worsted. Yep. And then my contrast color is a DK, and this is also some leftovers that I had from my Brioche Hug by Cozy Up Knits. It's Midnight Cravings in their Comfort Sport base, which is kind of like a DK, and it's in their Merry colorway. And I had ordered myself an extra skein of this because I wasn't sure if I would run out. So I have another full skein of this, and this one is my leftovers. So I have more than enough for my contrast. So again, I'm stash busting. I'm getting stuff out of my stash, which makes me feel really good. Okay, so just a quick note, if you wanted to use DK for your main color and fingering for like your flowers, that also works as well. A couple people have done that, and it does work. Me, I'm just doing worsted for the main color. My shawl's probably going to end up a little bit bigger, but I like my shawls bigger, so I'm absolutely fine with that. So without further ado, here's what I have so far. It is so pretty. I'm glad that I decided to do this. I've seen this shawl pop up on Instagram before. It looks so pretty, but I was like, that's gonna take up too much brain space for me to want to do, but it's not hard at all, guys. The repeat is charted, which when I bought the pattern, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, it's charted. It's simple, it's so simple, y'all. And I really like it because there's 2 different color charts. So I'm using a dark background with the lighter flowers. If you wanted to do the opposite, that chart is there as well. So I really like that because I am one of those persons that will look at the pattern, and if I see a light, I'm going to presume that, you know, I'm just one of those people. So I really appreciate the designer for putting that in there. So yeah, that's what I have so far. I've made some pretty good progress. I'm really, really loving it. Those flowers are just amazing. And I absolutely love the Merry colorway from Midnight Cravings. Those little specks of color are just, oh, it's amazing. I absolutely love the shawl. So I've been putting most of my time on this one. Like I said, the repeat is so simple. Once you start your row, you kind of don't have to look at it. And to be quite honest, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I have to keep looking at my pattern to make sure I'm on track. But the repeat is so easy that once you do your first established row, you kind of don't have to look at the chart at all. Like, you know what you're doing. So I really like that about this pattern. Not as hard as my brain thought it was going to be. So if you've been on the fence about this one, I would give it a try because it's so much fun and it's just so pretty. So this is a pressed flower shawl by Amy Christoffers. Beautifully written. So will I have it done in time? I think so. I'm making good progress on it, and it's definitely been a project that I keep wanting to grab, so I don't see it being a problem. All right, so I'm just gonna grab a quick sip of coffee. So what else have I worked on? I did start another pair of socks. I ended up purchasing the mystery skein of the month from the Northern Pearl, and it was for the March mystery, and it's for one skein fingering weight yarn, and then you get a couple little goodies with it. So I didn't bring it with me, but March's mystery was a special self-striping skein. So there was a pretty green, and then the contrast stripe was lighter in color, but it had like yellow in it and speckles. And one thing I love about a self-striping yarn is to have a solid and then a speckled mix. That is just so pretty. So it was St. Patty's Day themed, and to everybody who celebrated yesterday, happy St. Patty's Day. I sat down with a glass of wine last night and my knitting. It was fabulous. Quiet night at home, that's the way I like it. But regardless, I did cast on those socks, and I'm so sad to report that I would have had one of those socks to show you, but I decided that I was going to knit it vanilla. And I was knitting it on my 2mm magic loop like usual, but I got down to the foot and it was way too big, and I'm not sure why. I did a 60 stitch count. I guess my gauge really changed. I've been doing a lot of rib socks of late. I haven't done vanilla in a long time, so apparently my gauge is like really loose. So I ripped it out and I reskeined up the yarn, and I've recast it on with 56 stitches. I'm just into the cuff now. I got the cuff done, but now I'm just kind of wondering, do I stick with ribbing or do I want a chance doing the vanilla again? I don't know yet, but I didn't bring it with me because it's only a little bit of a cuff, but I had to frog that, so that was a little depressing and sad, but it is what it is. So I will definitely have those to show next time. Something else that I have worked on in the past 3 weeks is my Marcelli sweater by Petite Knits. Now I have shared this with you guys before. I'm using Juniper Moon Patagonia, and it is a DK weight sweater. It's got a drop shoulder construction. I won't go into too much detail about it because I have talked about it before, but I did get some work on it. It doesn't seem like much, but I did get some rows on it, so I'm like that far past the yarn now, so I think I might have been here last time. So it hasn't been that much at all, to be quite honest, but I did put some work on it, so I thought I would share that with you guys just to show that I am still working on it. But yeah, so there's that one. So I do want to get back to it for sure, but like I said, it's really fun to take part with your local knitting group, so I decided to cast on that shawl and I have no regrets. The sweater will get finished all in good time, but I thought I would just share that with you guys quickly. All right, so I have one more thing to share with you guys, and it is crocheted. So I had a little bit of a request. So a sweet little girl in her family, Miss Lily, she would love to have a pink dinosaur she wants a pink dinosaur cake for her birthday. Her birthday is in September, I believe. Could be earlier than that. I'm a bad auntie. Regardless, she wanted a pink dinosaur cake. So me and Kaylee were talking. Kaylee is auntie. So we were kind of talking, and we decided that we should crochet up her a little dinosaur. So in my infinite wisdom, I go onto amigurumi.com. They have all sorts of crocheted little stuffies, and that absolutely love that site. There are free patterns as well as paid for patterns, and they're all premium designs. Like if you pay for them, the ones that I have gotten so far, they're very well written. So normally when I do stuffies, I have knit them before, but I prefer to crochet them. So in my infinite wisdom, when I went on there, for some reason I thought she wanted a pink dragon. So I found this cute little dragon, and that is what I'm doing. So afterwards, speaking to Kaylee, I realized that, oops, I think it was supposed to be a dinosaur. So she's getting a dragon instead, which I don't think she's really gonna care, but it was supposed to be pink. So I went to Michael's and I picked up some Patton's Astra, which technically I believe would be a worsted weight, maybe a DK, I'm not really sure. It's 100% acrylic. Oh, it shows up as a 3 light. So I'm guessing that would be a sport to DK. So I picked out 2 colors. This one is deep pink. And then I picked out a light pink. So it's not done yet, it's work in progress. I realized that the way that I put my colors, my dragon, supposed to be dinosaur, is actually turning out to look like a pig. Maybe not, but it looks like a pig to me. So I should have done the body in the dark pink maybe, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's adorable. It's cute. I love it. So I got its little ears on. I got its horns, snout. It does have the plastic eyes. Lily is 3 years old. So if I use plastic eyes, the snap-on eyes, I always take a lighter and I melt down the back so it puffs out more so they can't be pulled off as easy. So I think that they should be okay with her. So the only snafu that I'm having that I might do, this is the head and this is the body. So it's all crocheted in one. When I started the pattern, because Bobby doesn't read through a whole pattern first, she just goes all gung-ho, I didn't realize this was the body part. I presume we were just doing a little bit of a neck and then the body was crocheted separately. So somewhere along the way, I was supposed to be slowly decreasing. So up here, his body should be slightly thicker. So what I'm going to do, he does have a little patch here on his belly. So I'm going to crochet that first. And if I see that the patch is a little bit too big, I'm going to just undo. I never weaved this in yet. I'm just going to take it back to his head part and recrochet it because somehow along the way I did it wrong. So his body is slightly more skinnier. So I will do that if I see that I have to. But all I have left to do is his little arms, his legs, the patch for his belly, and I'm not sure if I brought it with me. I might have. Yes, I did. I did his tail this morning. So there's his little tail, and it's going to have the dragon scales down it, which will be in the contrast color. So yeah, he will be very cute. I'm sure of it, or she will be very cute, but I don't know. She kind of looks like a pig. Oh well, but she's a lot of fun to do. The pattern was very well written. The pattern is Ori the Fire Dragon by DIY/Fluffies. So I will link that below, but I got it off of amigurumi.com. It was a paid for pattern. It's super cute. I love it. Just love it. So I don't know if I want to save this for her birthday or I just want to surprise her with it. I'm kind of that person that when I finish making something, I just want to surprise them with it. So she'll probably get it sooner, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm enjoying it. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. I feel like for 3 weeks that isn't really a lot, but yeah, being sick, usually when I'm sick, I'm pretty miserable, and I did nothing. I actually just sat in front of my computer and played a game. I am a Sims fan. I have been since the beginning, so currently right now I'm doing The Sims 4. So I typically don't sit down and enjoy. I just pretty much knit. So when I was sick, I actually just, for a couple days, I enjoyed my Sims game, and it was like a lot of fun. And now there's a new expansion that just came out this past week, so I'm kind of wanting to game a little bit, which makes me feel guilty because I love my knitting. It's hard. I love to read, but I'm not one of those people that can read and knit at the same time. I don't know, knitting is my first love, so whenever I have the spare time, that's what I want to do. It is what it is. We'll see what happens, but hopefully I will be back in 2 weeks and I will have some stuff for you, more stuff for you to show, and hopefully I can get back to my spinning again. I think I said that last time. I really do mean it, but I just have a lot on the needles right now that I would like to finish because it's starting to get slightly overwhelming again. But yeah, I believe that's all I have to share with you. I did get some stash acquisitions. I haven't done that in a while, but I didn't bring them to share. We went on a little road trip this past week, and I got to visit Yarnit in Cobourg, Ontario, Canada. And if you're watching, hi Kathy, I'm sorry I missed you again. Absolutely wonderful yarn store. So if you're in the Southern Ontario area, go check her out. Karen is also another fabulous yarn store. She's in Belleville, which is maybe an hour away from Cobourg. I know she's an hour away from me, 45 minutes away from me, but Karen also is the Grey Huron Yarn Shop. Hi Karen. So 2 wonderful yarn shops here in Southern Ontario. Go check them out. They're awesome. I got to go check out Yarnit's new store. She moved to a new location over on Elgin Street, and oh my gosh, it is so bright. She has a bigger space now. She has a wonderful selection of yarn, and she has a lot of like new stock yarns like opals and all that. So many beautiful things. So I did pick out a couple things. I picked out a sock yarn. I don't think it was a Regia. It might have been, I can't remember. I wish I would have remembered to bring it, but I picked out a sock yarn. It was kind of in rainbow colors, and then I picked out 2 skeins of biscuit, my first biscuit yarns, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, so I had a lot of fun, and I'm sorry I missed you, Kathy, because it would have been so nice to see you. So another time. But yeah, so I'm not gonna gabber on too much. Life's been good. It's just been a little bit busy. Some exciting things have happened of late. We ended up obtaining, I should say, a wheelchair van. So it is, it's an older van, but it's new to us, and it has the manual ramp to that comes out the back of the van, so I can load up in the van now with my wheelchair, and it just gives me more freedom to go visit people and to go explore and do road trips and all that. We were doing it before, but we were doing it with a car and a trailer, or, you know, it worked. We survive, we do what we do, but now with the van, it's just made everything so much easier. So yeah, we went to the mall, I think early last week, so that was a lot of fun, just to get out. We had some Timmies and just walked around the mall, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's incredible. So that's been a life-changing thing and a very exciting thing as well. And also when I got to go on that little road trip to see Kathy, I had my chair, so I got to go in and I got to check things out. So it's just awesome. It's a life-changing thing. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, not too much going on. Like I said, the weather has been doing amazing. We did have some snow, and then for the past, I would say, couple days, we've had some mild weather. I think today is like +4 or +5 degrees Celsius. So it looks really nice out there, but we have a wind warning, which means that it's pretty blustery, which means it's cold, which means Bobby's staying inside drinking lots of coffee. So I'm not going to venture out today. But anyways, my northern friends are in for a good dumping of snow, so I hope you guys all stay safe and warm and cozy. I hope you can get lots of knitting done. And yeah, I'm going to stop blabbering right now. Show notes in the description box below, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.